It's quite a huge thing that has happened. We have to understand the region. Even though Iran is a country away, we have Pakistan in the middle. It's quite an important player in the region, and the killing of a leader of such relevance will have a spillover effect, which I think could hit India as well. The Arabian Sea. Remember that India is the largest country with the littoral in the Arabian Sea, is going to become an area of conflict. A lot of people will argue that the northern Arabian Sea is problematic, but the spillover effect is quite possible in the Arabian Sea. Remember, a lot of the traffic of the world, the oil traffic, the trade traffic goes through this region, and depending on how Iran reacts, I think this area could become quite a dangerous place in the coming days. Iran's options of retaliation are several. For if it chooses to escalate the issue and say blockade sea lanes of communication in the region, is going to impact our trade as well. Our petroleum comes to that area. We have warships already deployed there close by in the Gulf of Aden to facilitate exit and entry of ships bearing trade products for the Indian subcontinent from against piracy. Indian forces are in that theater of conflict. We have Indian shipping going through. I remember recently when the Iranians took over a UK-based tanker, the crew was all Indians. So a lot of Indians are already in, you could say, in harm's way when it comes to a possible conflict in the region. Secondly, the problem that we see now is that Iran, after this, if it does exert a violent response, will become a problematic place as far as the Western world goes. And India has stakes in Iran. We have, of course, cut down our oil supply from them, but remember that the Chabahar port is a very important port for us, which we are building up, which we are trying to build up, because that gives us access of a route to Afghanistan. Right now, when India wants to trade with Afghanistan, which is very important for us as a country, we have either the aerial option available, or you have to route it through the Iranian borders, and a closure of that port can become an issue as far as our trade and future trade to not just Afghanistan, to Central Europe goes. The other factor which we have to be carefully observing is how does Pakistan go from here? What is the relevance of Pakistan? Remember, when the Americans decided to invade Afghanistan, they relied fully on the Pakistani forces, and that made Pakistan a very powerful and potent player in the region. In Balakot, when we after Balakot, when the F-16s tried to strike us, and Abhinandan was shot down, they used the missiles which were given to them by the Americans for their help in the Afghanistan crisis. So if Iran explodes, how does Pakistan react? Does Pakistan become more important? Does America start relying on it more? Can Pakistan trade that for weapons, for aid, for funding, is something we have to see. Of course, the disclaimer here is we don't know what Iran is going to do, but seeing its past history and the strong statements coming out of there is a possibility of a hike in tension, which is quite likely to spill over to our area. So we have to be ready in all ways, militarily, in terms of strategy, and in terms of political engagements with both sides of the conflict there.